yeah, so Trump was at a convention for black national journalists, and a journalist pretty much grilled him, and this
Good.
is what has been said.
On the ticket because she is a black woman.
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do
and
you
I
believe
think, somebody should look into that too when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a
Yeah, that's like believing the slave master on every. Oh, I let them free. They want to work. That's like, are you sure? Are you sure we're gonna listen to that motherfucker? And he lies. That's all I have to say. He lies. Everything he says is a lie.
Here's the thing. Here's the kicker. You know what I'm saying? Because just yesterday I put up that clip, or I put up something to that extent. And I had a Mexican dude tell me like, oh, you know, Kamala was born in India, and you know, then once I disproved him with that, then you know, oh, well, she's the worst thing for black people, and then you know, it's a trip because we have other races telling us what black is. You know what I'm saying?
Because there's a lot of low IQ people out there.
Well, hold up, but then here's the thing though. But then when you got like, you know, Uncle Ruckus ass Joe Brown, you know, getting on the art of dialogue talking about Kamala Harris is a hoe and she ain't black, or you got these people, you got black people actually saying that. Why are we doing that? Why are we degrading one of our own? So I know that, you know, you ladies here are probably tired, but again, this is stuff that affects us daily. This is something that's happening to another quote unquote black woman. This is stuff that affects us within life. This is something that's going to be historical, not even just on a monumental thing, but again, if we get a person like Trump back in office, then this means a lot, especially for Project 2025, which is going to affect all of us. You know, so I mean, this is stuff that it definitely affects, and something that we definitely have to talk about. We just had someone say Godspeed. She's not black. I don't know who Godspeed is, but so hold on, real quick, Melvin, real quick.
Go ahead.
A quick backstory on Kamala Harris. Her mother is from India. Her father is from Jamaica. And for those that who are historically, you know, ignorant, you know what I'm saying, when the white people were going from Europe to Africa, they brought over black slaves, and they dropped them off first into the Caribbean, South America, Central America, and then last but not least, the United States. So by default, you know, her father is an African person, you know what I'm saying? But even with Jamaica being a part of America, he's still African American. He's not U.S. African American, but he is still of African descent. And just like us, as we talked about, especially when it comes to ancestry, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you've been on this in this country for I don't know how many umpteenth years, there's a good chance that you would have quote unquote European in you too. You're not 100% black. Well, Tish is damn near close.
You would definitely know.
He would know.
You would definitely know about European descent. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's not play that game.
No, but on a serious level, though.
Hold on, Tish.
Now, my question is, why does it matter?
That part.
No, very true. Very true. So hold on. Godspeed has something to say. He says, and she will not have the black male, sir, or ma'am. Black male is BLACK.
I hope they don't try to blackmail her.
MALE support. While y'all have her king for Democrats is not going to work. We are tired of voting for symbolism and no tangibles. I understand what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. He also wrote, he or she, it's sad that you have black people so ignorant, one voting for nothing. What have they done for us? And we have adoration all the way from Thailand. Few facts. My grandmother is German. Jeez, I did not know that.
A Nazi took over?
Did not look it.
Hey, can I make one small
Y'all better leave adoration alone.
Right. Can I make one small correction before we get into this argument, though? Because Tish, I'm gonna let you run with it. I'm gonna let all y'all run with it, and then I'm gonna come in at the end because you know how I get. But Jamaican is not a race. and the fact that her father put that down doesn't mean that her father is of African descent. So I just wanted to be clear on that.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Because
So
he's never come out and said he was black or African.
Okay,
Or,
time out.
I've never seen Jamaican on anybody's birth certificate except for hers. That's all I'm saying.
So time out. So what are they then? You know what I'm saying? Because that's essentially what he is. If you do a DNA test and ancestry test, which we'll probably do another one, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna come back African. That man is of African descent. Not only that, you know what I'm saying? Shout out.
Everybody's African then.
Not necessarily. I mean, to a certain extent. So with that being said, though, her mom came from India and moved to Oakland or Berkeley, wherever they went, and then her father was an immigrant from Jamaica and went to Oakland or Berkeley. Matter of fact, they met in the BSU, the Black Student Union. They were actually, civil rights activists. They were out there fighting for rights. He's come out and actually
you know who else went to an HBCU?
No, I'm not saying
Rachel Dolezal. You know what I'm saying? She's a black activist.
Oh man, here you go.
I'm just saying.
Here you go.
We can't use that as a determining factor.
So why are we
go ahead,
Teach.
No, we disrespected Teach. Go ahead, Teach.
What I was gonna say at the beginning.
What's up, D, in the comments?
Of all
I
this
just want to know, why does it matter? And for a person, yeah, and because to me it doesn't. Her nationality, her race, is not forcing me to vote for her. Okay, I'm looking at policies. I'm looking at things that are being said. I'm looking at the other end too, the way he's running his mouth and the taking away of female rights and having us be able to make decisions for our own body is like making us property. I do not agree with being property of the government. I do not agree with a lot of the stuff that is going on. And I finally finished reading the Project 25 thing. There's things in there I don't agree with. And some of these things are already going in place in other states and things like that. So I'm looking at all that. I don't understand why it matters. And then I'm coming from a place also too. When I was little, you don't talk like us. You sound like you white. Like, excuse me for my mother and my father teaching me how to pronounce my alphabets and all that stuff. I was a cheerleader. Oh, you must want to be a white girl because you was a cheerleader. No, Tish didn't want regular PE. If you got to know me, you would have known why I decided to be a cheerleader, and I liked competing in cheer. So that's why. But every time something goes from what stereotypical norms of a black person, you're not black enough because you don't do this, or you're not, it's dumb to me. And for it to be in politics like this, where we're so focused on if she's Indian or she's black, seriously, that's why we voting? Is that really why we voting? And that's really and y'all don't like that she's a melanated black woman. Y'all gonna vote for the things that's going on, that's being said by this man who's been proven time and time again to be lying. That's where my issue is. And that's why I said I don't get it. I don't understand why we're focusing so hard on if she's and black enough.
Right.
That irks me.
Hold on. Let's say Melvin, put the toothpick in there real quick. I'm gonna get right to you and teach good stuff. What's up, Adoration? We just want to make sure you're in a nice, good, quiet spot before we bring you on. I don't know if you heard the rules. She
there you go.
What's up, D? Godspeed says Harris does not matter. What matters is the Democratic Party has not done nothing specifically for the black community. That's what matters. That's actually not true. Not all the way true, I should say. Cheryl says Tish, I heard it too. And then Godspeed said the couch will win. Not sure what that means.
It means they're not voting for either party. That's what that means.
And that's totally your choice.
Well, that's a stupid thing.
That's what the freedom of voting is for.
That is the stupidest thing. Oh, the Democratic Party, this party ain't doing shit, but I'm not gonna vote. I'm not gonna vote. Like,
I'm gonna start calling.
Okay, then why do you even have an opinion if you're not even gonna be part of the conversation?
I'm gonna start calling you Roland Martin, Melvin. That's what
that's fine with me. That's fine with me. I don't mind Roland Martin because he calls out a lot of people. He calls out a lot of people and he brings facts to the table.
Except for himself.
A lot of people like to hide behind, oh, well, the Democratic Party ain't do nothing for anybody. I'm like, well, what have you done? Are you voting? Are you part of your community? Are you helping the black people in your community? No, then shut the fuck up. If you're just on the sideline and you're not helping at all, you're part of the fucking problem. Oh, I wonder why the ghetto is like the ghetto. Well, are you helping the ghetto? No? Then shut the fuck up. Either be part of the action and be part of the solution or get the fuck out the way. That's it. But digressing back to my point, as I
Please.
said before, when I was trying to talk to third, I said when I take facts in, I look at it, the quality of the person saying what they're saying, and then the quality of what is being said. So if a racist tells me something, then I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. And if somebody else tells me something, I'm going to actually do my due diligence. But as I said before, Trump, like Tisha said, Trump is a liar. Why would we even agree to even have him up there? There's no reason he should be going for president. Why is it that if you're a convicted felon, you can't vote, but this convicted white felon is allowed to be run for president? Tell me how that makes sense. And then we're that right there is absurdity. That's the definition of absurdity right there. And we're taking in what he says. I don't give a fuck what Trump says. I don't give a fuck what Trump supporter says. Most of them are low IQ. That's a fact. That is a fucking fact. Most of them are
Right.
uneducated, low IQ. And so my problem is why are we listening to a white racist about how black somebody is? And then why do we always have this damn discussion? Like I wrote a research paper back in college when I went, and it was titled "Buying Back Your Blackness." If you don't have on fucking Jordans a lot of times, if you don't have on the fresh fit, if you don't fucking flash your who you are, a lot of times your own community will turn on you. Like Tisha said, well, you're speaking properly. You're not dressed this way. You're not doing. Oh, girl, you look busted. It goes on, and we attack ourselves, and we have to buy our blackness. And it's like,
Right.
okay, if you don't have the fresh Jordans or the fresh, oh, he's using Skechers. Okay, so now I'm gonna put my money into Nike, who don't give a fuck about black people, who was initially founded by Nike and Adidas were founded by Germans and the Nazis, and do your due diligence there. But we have to buy our blackness. If we don't have a fresh fit, if we don't have the nicest things, the nicest cars, we talk down to each other
So why is that? Well, hold on one sec.
because we
So
like to bitch about things.
shout out to Adoration in the comments. Shout out to D. Make sure you guys are hitting the like and share button if you're on YouTube. Thank you. I appreciate you. Make sure you hit the subscribe and the notify button. Godspeed. I want to shout you out. You know, you're over here heavy in the comments on YouTube. I appreciate you. We don't agree, and we can agree to disagree, but we can have a good discussion, and that's what this whole platform is about. So if you want to come on, I'll figure out a way how to get it to you. You know, saying if you want to come on and speak, but if not, you can still hold it down in the comments. But Godspeed says, first of all, why don't you tell me where voting has got the black community and it's got other people tangibles? Let's talk about
Civil rights movement,
ingredients.
Civil Rights Voting Act.
All right, hold on one second.
We living off of 1965.
No, but that he just said, tell me one, and I'm just like, okay.
Right. Hold on, say then he said, what about these illegal immigrants getting all this money and yet black community has got nothing? Then he also said, what's the difference between a white race and white races and acquired races? Both of them the same. Both are racist. I hear you. Shout out. She agreed with you. Adoration agreed with you. Said, preach, Melvin. Adam Fournier. Fontanet. I think I said Trump stood toe to toe at the Wakanda convention with those journalists who possess.
Who's a racist?
I'm sorry. Hey, that was a good one. You ain't shit for that, but that was a good one. You know what I'm saying? You ain't shit. And I can appreciate a good like, you know.
Trump didn't stand toe to toe. He
didn't stand toe to toe at all.
He actually didn't want to get on for 45 minutes because they were going to fact check him, and he was complaining.
Hey, this is the most I've never seen fact check.
Melvin, we gotta be responsible, sir.
Hold on. He says, yes, it's always their own people that put us down and unsupported. And well, we aren't slaves, bro. I don't know what she's referring to.
Right. Listen, man, we got to be responsible, man. We can't just throw narratives out there And before y'all get to calling me a Trump supporter and all this type of shit, you know what I mean? I speak about facts, right? Let's outside of Kamala not being black. I don't care about that shit. What I do care is having people that go up and try to misrepresent black people. You know what I mean? And that's my problem with the black argument when it comes to Kamala, because it seems to me that there's a plethora of individuals who play black to get political advancement, to get social advancement. But when it comes down to real issues, they're nowhere to be found, and they shut the hell up. Or as Melvin would say, they shut the fuck up when it come to us. You know what I mean? So that's always been my issue. I don't, if she want to be black and she gonna have the mindset of the black individuals that are here, then that's a whole different argument. But to me, Kamala's not black because she don't care about black people. To me, that's how I feel. And if our only argument is that Trump is racist and there are no policy, I still haven't heard a policy. I went searching today. What are Kamala's policies? Please give me one. Besides reproduction rights, because that doesn't apply to everybody. Yes, that applies to women, but what do I get? Right? What do me as an individual voter, what do I get from Kamala Harris? She hasn't posted any policies. You go to Kamala's website, it says donate. Donate and shut the fuck up. That's what it says.
No,
right?
there's tons
it
of
says
policies on there.
There's no policies on her page.
All right, I'll shoot you the link.
Godspeed says bingo.
I'll shoot you the link. And
please,
whatever her policies may or may not be, it'll be better than Donald
How
Trump.
do you know?
Because what we know right now, that historians say that the historians that grade the last, I think 100 years ranking, Trump is the last fucking president. So he's ranked last. So we know by historians and people that know their shit that Trump is the worst of the worst presidents. So if we're talking about hope, why would we go for somebody that's already last and not try to go for somebody that's not 70 years old, that's not a convicted rapist, that's not a convicted felon, that doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself, and that has no real policies, that kept a white nationalist in the White House next to him because he liked him. So we saw his presidency and what it was about. And
Melvin,
it
can I
didn't
ask
do
you
shit.
A very specific
That's very
question,
true.
Can I ask you a very
Go for it. Go for
Hey,
it.
hold on. Hey, Quiz, hold that thought real quick, brother. We have a comment. We have a comment real quick. So please hold that thought because I want to hear what you have to say. Adam Fontenay says, look up MLK's lawyer. He was on the Labor Youth Party, a communist party. MLK was still saying black weren't free. Today, black people are overwhelming Marxists.
I don't know what the fuck that
I'm going to refute that one. Godspeed says the everyday black person had every money in their pockets when Trump was in office. That's a damn lie, bro.
That is a fucking lie.
The Democrats have killed black wealth this go around.
Look, right. if we're talking about black ownership,
hold on. I'll let y'all get off. I gotta let Quest get off. So to the Godspeed who said that, you sound far right, bro. You know, I hate to say that because again, if you even know basic economics, then you know that Republicans are about big business. So where in that in between did that ever look out for the middle class? Or if you're within a certain tax bracket, how did that really even affect you? So again, there's going to be tax breaks for billionaires while they're taxing middle class and lower class citizens of the United States. That's just basic economics. So I don't know where you're getting your info from, but it seems a little biased.
It is biased.
Hold on a sec, Melvin. Go ahead, Quest.
Go
what you're saying.
The nerve of you guys calling people biased. This shit sounds like a Democrat convention. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just say that all we missing is Meg Thee Stallion on stage twerking. You know what I mean? Like what? Let's be realistic and honest. I'm gonna take you back to a greater time in Democratic history with the election of Barack Obama, with a full Democratic House and Senate. Right? What happened? What do we get out of 8 years of a Democratic House? Well, the first
Obamacare.
4 years.
Obamacare.
I don't give a shit about Obamacare.
You may not, but
That's
it saved a lot of
that's
people's
lift
lives.
all policy. It's time out, Melvin, because this is where I got frustrated last week. Because once again, I keep saying this. Every time I say something about black people, we have to co-sign and lift all policy with everybody else. But when Obama was there, it wasn't a lift all policy for the LGBT. It wasn't a lift all policy for immigrants. You know what I'm saying? And here we are, round two from 2020 to 2024, prioritizing immigrants because they're going to be the new voting class to get rid of you black motherfuckers because you guys are too wishy-washy and emotional, right? But when Obama had a full House and Senate democratically led, what did he do for the people? He still bailed out the banks, big government, corporations. He still did everything that you guys accused the Republican Party of doing. And by all means, I am neither Republican, neither MAGA. What I'm saying is if it's good for the goose, it has to be good for the gander. And we can't use all this, because he's a racist, we can't listen. And because he's a racist, you know what I mean?
So we listen to racists?
Joe Biden was a racist. Like he been in Congress and government for 50 fucking years and did absolutely nothing for y'all but lock y'all the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And we're still sitting here like, hey, well, Biden was in and we played facing Trump, who's a racist. But Biden has passed racist policies from the 80s on up. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? You have to be fair in your objectiveness. That's all I'm saying.
No, so
I don't care either way.
So hold on, I'll let you rebut, Melvin. So you have a point, but then you have you don't have a point. I get what you're saying. So there's truth,
you can't say I have a point, but don't have a point.
No, because it is what it is, bro. Because again, part of it is exaggeration.
Just say you disagree.
No, I mean, again, bro,
I strongly disagree.
It's not even just that. Okay. It's just that something you're conflating a little bit of fact, and then you're exaggerating a little bit. So there is fact.
Where did I exaggerate? Please let me know.
Again, so you said that all he did was lock you up. So again, so he did help write the crime bill, right? So again, so that gave leeway to people, to police, and people throughout the country. So locking up black people for like small misdemeanors, for like weed, for little things like that. That's what I'm saying. There's some truth, but the exaggeration was saying that he's locking up black people. So that means to say that he's locking up all of us. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some things that you're saying that are fact, but some things are exaggeration. So I'm not saying I disagree with you.
Did the crime bill prioritize locking up black people? Let's be honest. Did it prioritize locking up black men specifically? Is that what the crime bill did?
But he wasn't president.
Instead of taking the crack epidemic and using it as a health crisis, as they're doing now with white people on opioids.
But he wasn't
the crime bill target black communities specifically to lock up black men for minor, non-offensive drug-related cases. Is that what it did?
Okay. No.
It didn't?
My thing is...
Melvin?
Yeah, that's correct. But who signed it into law? Who signed it into law? He wasn't president. That time was Ronald Reagan.
But Melvin, here's my guy going on Quez's side. He did co-author. I think, wasn't he like the author of it?
He was a co-author of the bill.
Was he not the author or the co-author?
But just as everything.
Animals like you, Melvin.
But that was Hillary Clinton said that. Hillary Clinton said that. But just as in everything, what is intended to happen with the law doesn't happen. The 3-strike law, remember that was signed by Bill Clinton. 3 strikes and then you get life. And then that was found unconstitutional.
As a Democratic president.
Yeah, but when you look at what Democrats have done, and for the future, whose future is brighter? Under a Democratic because the bottom line is we're going to have a Democrat president or a Republican president. That's it. So,
and I'm saying, what's the difference?
No, because did you read Project 25? Did you read Project 25?
This is why
if you do not know the policies and what is in the future administrations on both of them, then you cannot speak to what is going to happen in the future.
Melvin, what's the difference between an open racist and a sneaky one.
chose it
What's
too.
the difference?
What Kamala Harris is not a racist. So
is she black?
so the choices now is Kamala Harris, who is black and who is always claimed to be black, or
didn't,
a
but go ahead.
racist.
Yes, she
Or
did.
racist. So the two choices that will happen in November, no matter how you feel, no matter if we die today, no matter what, November happens, it's either going to be a Republican or a Democrat. Period. So either
D
you're with
says-
Kamala, who's black, or you're with the white racist, whose policies, as
Now,
LT
do you
said,
see how that is
Project
identity
25.
politics, sir? Do you
No,
see
but
how
he-
Chris
but-
broke that
but-
down?
but Quez-
We have a
he
white
has a point.
racist or a black
he has a
no,
point.
with
I'm
no
referring
policies.
He has
I'm
a point.
referring
So
to-
hold
That's
up.
what we will
So
do.
hold up.
referring
So
to
D
what you
says
said.
D says no. We are either going to have a Democratic president or a felon. That is fact.
It's the same. It's the same thing. Same
Hold up.
thing.
Hold up. I gotta read some of these comments because some of these comments are flying in quick.
Yeah.
Adam Fontanet, I'm gonna get back to you soon.
He sounds racist.
Grow up. What are you talking about?
No.
The first
No.
thing he said was Wakanda shit.
And he was right on target. That shit was funny.
Oh, Sam Caruso says Project 2025 has nothing to do with Trump. That's bullshit.
Again, bullshit.
Godspeed says actually she claimed to be Indian. All right, let's stop
Oh,
with this Indian
listen,
shit.
you see what I'm talking
wait,
about?
wait,
No,
hold
I'm
on.
not
No, the
third.
thing is,
Third,
she
look,
is
I gotta
Indian
take over the
and she's
show now.
Jamaican and
Hold on.
black. So
Look,
what the hell?
Let me mute. Let me mute both of y'all because now I'm on my bullshit. Because how are we gonna say that? You know what I mean? It was not just Joe Biden. He just happened to write a part of the policy, but he didn't vote on it. And then here you have Trump with Project 2025, who didn't write a goddamn thing, and nobody voted on yet. But that's him. Let's be bipartisan.
The reason that is, Quez, is 125 people that were in his former administration who are on his current campaign.
I don't give a shit.
Well, you may
Did
not
he
give a shit,
write
but the
it,
facts
or
matter.
Did Joe Biden
So
write the crime bill? But you just said it wasn't
you're going
the
back
same
to
because he didn't vote
1984.
it
I'm
in.
talking about
I see what you did there,
2025.
Quez.
It's either
I'm just saying.
1984, or 2025. Because you keep going back. We're not going back. 2025 and Trump administration is filled with Project 2025. Period. So those are the people that are going to spearhead his campaign. The same white nationalists that did the Muslim ban,
and what's gonna
the no
happen?
zero tolerance.
Because he was a racist in 2016 too, and what happened?
He still won.
And what happened during those 4 years?
We almost got into World War III with North Korea. He brought nukes for the first time a president ever said that. He got impeached twice for delaying. One of the reasons why Ukraine is at the port where they need funding is because Trump didn't want to give them funding. Remember, that's why he got impeached, because he delayed the funding to support them against Russia.
But should we be supporting them?
We've always done that. We should,
Right.
and we should support them because
but I got people
Russia
that look
has
like
said,
me sleep on the streets with no support.
But we give
But we
billions
never
of
have
dollars.
nothing to give to the
billions
black
of dollars. We give
We
billions
never
of dollars
have nothing to give to Chicago.
But-
we never have nothing to give to the inner city. We never have
Chicago-
nothing to give to
Chicago,
anybody that looks
its own
like me.
governors.
But a war 5 million miles away that has nothing to do with people that are in my community is being funded while I got to sit here and figure out why my teenage son can't get a job because
it's being
we got
funded.
illegal immigrants
There's a
over
million.
here taking the shit out some fries.
There's a million and one things that are being
passing
funded with your
milkshakes out
money.
the window, sir.
There's a million and one things that your money helped fund the crime bill. Your money helped fund all these things you didn't want happen anyway. They happen. It's part of the budget,
Bro,
whether we like it or not.
I wasn't allowed to spend no money during the crime bill. You know what I'm saying? And this is my whole argument to not go back and forth, right? To not go back and forth. Yes, Adrian, he is. But to not go back and forth, Like the fact of the matter is, if you are not voting for Senate and Congress seats, then you should shut the fuck up, right? Because we have these arguments every 4 years, like the presidential election is important, but nobody votes in any primaries. So instead of having arguments about whether Kamala is black and whether Trump is racist, you should be mobilizing in your neighborhoods and your local communities to vote for every state gets 2 representatives that go up there for them, right? And nobody knows who the fuck they are. And these are the people who pass the bills. These are the 100 people that are in charge of the money, right? That get spent, and nobody knows who these people are. But we're arguing about a racist and an Indian, and partially black. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with Quez. That's the problem. That has to. You guys saw my picture with Hakeem Jeffries and Mike Levin. I am fully invested in my local community as well as my state.
I know you are
as well, but I agree with you. A lot of people, they don't know. If you ask them who's their representative or what's the number, what is county is their representative in, they can't tell you. A lot of people are ignorant to those facts, and that is part of the problem because they're like, well, it doesn't affect me. But yes, motherfucker, it does affect you. And like further point, if people didn't want money to go to Ukraine, then they should fucking be well understood on what's going on. Because then they call their congressman. But if they don't even know who the fuck their congressman is, they're not calling anybody. So there's no outrage because people are ignorant, and that is the fact.
I hear you on that. I agree with both of you gentlemen. You guys both brought up some good key points. But let's end this shit right now, okay? Hold up. Here goes a clip right here.
My mother was very well aware that she was raising 2 black girls to be 2 black women. And she did that instilling in us pride in our culture and cultures, always knowing that we would face all kinds of obstacles, but she never let us believe that anything could get in the way.
So, I mean, she's always stated that she was black. And her mom, her Indian mom, made sure to raise her and to let her know that she was a black woman.
Bro,
so hold up. So hold up. So my thing is like, why do we as a people, or some people, do this dumb shit where she's mixed? Okay, so does she negate the fact that she does have another ancestry? You know what I'm saying? Her mom is from India, but her father is black. So at the same time, do we sit up there and negate the fact that this person is mixed ancestry? If this is what this person is claiming to be, then why are we sitting up there fueling the propaganda, giving these white people like Trump the fuel to say ignorant, dumb shit? Oh, she's Indian. Or she was born in India.
Sir, I gotta say this real quick. It's not about building propaganda. We are delineating right now at a certain, because what tends to happen, right? And y'all stop me when I'm lying, right? And we're gonna wrap this shit up. Stop me when I'm lying, right? When other ethnicities of blacks come over here, right? When they do something well, it's I'm Ghanaian, I'm Kenyan, right? When somebody from their lineage pops up, right? They make sure that we're not African American. When black debauchery is on the loose, the griot, the shade room, all these websites that propagate black debauchery, they're not run by black people from America. These are people from outside of the culture coming in and making these narratives happen. So the question becomes, when people get into public spaces and offices and positions of power, we have to make sure that these people understand the lineage of the people they're representing, right? Somebody from Jamaica doesn't have the same feeling about slavery in America, right? They may have that feeling in Jamaica, but in America, when we created the position for them to come over here with the amendment and become, we thought we were bringing in allies, right? But no, everybody gets over here, gets into a position of power, and the first thing they say is, I'm not like them niggas, I'm different. You know what I mean? I'm Ghanaian, I'm Jamaican. They make sure to specify. The whole time, we've been saying, hey, we all in this together. But when you get into a position of power, you don't have the same judgment and disdain for the system that has been fucking us up since we've been here, because you feel it's a blessing to be here. You feel like you didn't have to experience all the trauma that came through my mitochondrial DNA from my ancestors from slavery all the way till now, so you don't feel the same way I feel. And now you're representing me and you're saying racism isn't that bad. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I came over here from another country and I made it. Like, bro, that's not
Jamaicans went through the same slavery though. So I mean, what are we really talking about?
Yeah, but they ran. Right? If you had the same determination, you should have kept your ass over there and made Jamaica great. I don't see what you should have made Kenya great. The difference don't come over here and point your finger at me and say you niggas ain't worth shit and don't mess with.
Let me ask you a question. Do we hate people who look just like us? Do we sit there?
I don't hate anyone.
No. I'm not saying that you do. I'm not saying. So let me clarify. I'm not saying that you do. But again, you're pretty much so Obama. His father is from Kenya. Came over to America, met an American woman, white woman, and had him. So all of a sudden, you negate his blackness because you feel like, his father didn't go through the slavery like we did. I mean, but at the same time, I'm not saying what you're saying. I'm not saying what you're saying. That's not what you said. And that's not what you said. That's not what you said. Yeah, no. That's not what you said. There's other people who have said that. So I'm going to clarify that. But again, we have people who look just like us. Just because he didn't go, quote unquote, through the struggle of what we went through in America, then that doesn't mean that he's black. I mean, it's the stupidest shit that you can fucking say, because at the end of the day, he is a legitimate African American. His father's from Africa, his mother's from America.
And he grew up in America.
Everybody's African American.
It's fucking dumb.
No, and then everybody. Well, I'm Kenyan.
Well, if you're
I'm 77%. Niggas start throwing out their percentages. I'm 77. I ain't really African American.
That was you that said I'm not.
My thing is,
I did my roots. My cousins are in Africa. They're in Cameroon. You said that I'm not, but I got my people. Go ahead, Jess. Say something.
Go ahead.
So, do Africans claim to be black if they're straight from Africa?
They don't give a fuck about
They make sure to tell you they're African.
Do Jamaicans claim to be black if they're from Jamaica?
They do.
They claim to be
because you want to know why? Because the black diaspora in America, in the Americas, whether it's Canada, whether it's U.S., whether it's Central or even South America, we were cut off from our race. We don't know who we are, what we can identify as, even in Africa. So in Africa, if you're talking about Africa in itself, it's a continent and it has different countries. So just like Obama's father, he's African, but truthfully, he's Kenyan because he was born in Kenya. We, as African Americans, don't know where we came from. We were cut off from our heritage. So we can't identify with Nigeria or Cameroon, whatever, unless we actually do a test and actually find our heritage. So yes, so black is a blanket term that is used for people of color because we were cut off, and we have that, just like Malcolm X had the X behind his name because it's the mark of the unknown. So it's a generalized term that we're saying we're different Americans than what we are. We were brought over here, but we don't know what we can identify as because we were cut off. And
what I was going to say earlier. Oh, go ahead, Jess.
So I was just going to say about her race. I'm pretty sure she's obviously been claiming this since high school, if she got into a HBCU. She's been claiming it since high school. So they accepted her for that reason. So she, in my eyes, is black.
What?
But y'all know how I feel about politics, so hey.
This right here is outside of politics. This is race and identity, which is why
this is race. It's how she identifies.
Which is why I wanted to bring up the third word of the day was race, because again, we have people that look just like us who will say that no, you're not black enough, or no, you're not this, you're Indian, stay over there. And then again, it's just So if we're talking about unity and blacks and this and whatever, we're fighting, but you look at this other black person who has the same skin tone as you, unless they're a Candace Owens, then you know what I'm saying, like,
why is she the exception? Why is she black like you? She
because
black like you?
No. So she is. But if you hear her rhetoric is not for us. She is specifically for example.
But wait, Quez, according to you, she's not supporting our community, so she's not
exactly.
black.
And I think Kamala's actions. That's why I'm fighting against his
example.
Here's
why I'm going to give Quez a nugget.
I'll pick the other. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm gonna give Quez a nugget of support, because I get where he's coming from with this. He's 100% right with this. But at the end of the day, you have Kamala Harris, not Kamala, but Candace Owens, who just said that, when it comes to police shootings to a black on black person, whatever, then it happens to more white people. It's not a race thing, whatever. She literally just, for the Sonia Massey thing, she literally just said that this wasn't a race issue. And she was trying to deflate and deflect the attention that needs to be upon qualified immunity when it comes to police. But she did this. She not only has done this, she's done this more than once for us.
Talked about George Floyd. The thing. Candace Owens is still black. It's just the fact that she makes her money by putting black people down.
And I say the same thing about Kamala.
That is, she does
not.
No, he does not.
Kamala. Kamala only talks about putting hot sauce in her purse and washing greens in the bathtub.
That's not even close.
It's not the same thing, but here's where not even close. That's not the same thing, but here's where I'm gonna give you credit. Quez, you're 100% correct in this, because
check on the baby, but I'm listening. Go ahead.
No, so where Quez is 100% correct is because what Democrats do, and I gotta backtrack to Godspeed. So you said, what have Democrats done for black people? Again, so you're talking about the Civil Rights Act of 1964, 1965, and then 1968, which gave people civil rights, which gave people voting rights and gave people housing rights. So if you're talking about the same thing about Trump's father was denying black tenants occupancy within residences that he was establishing. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, he was discriminating against black people to rent to black people. So again, Trump's father was actually seen at a Ku Klux Klan rally. So if you're talking about what have Democrats done, you had John F. Kennedy, who started off the civil rights bills of 1964, but was assassinated. And then you had Lyndon B. Johnson, who was a known racist, who stood up there and finished it for him. So you're talking about 1964, 1965, and then 1968. So the thing where I'm going to give Quez, truthfully, some credit, because he's 100% correct, which Democrats are guilty of, is that when it comes election year, when it comes time to what they want to sit up there and make themselves appeal to these different groups, like the blacks. Okay, we'll give you Juneteenth, or we'll come with our kente cloth. We'll go.
Well, you know why that is, right?
Hold up a second, Melvin. I want to lose my train of thought. So each 4 years, when they want to get the black vote, they'll do something. Just like how I said in the Ratchet News, you have the 4 years where you have more than enough years to sit up there and to pass this bill for black agriculture. But then you want to do it within its voting year, when it's crucial within election time. And then at the same time, what Quez is saying, which is 100% true, is that you want to spoon feed it. And I understand what you're saying, Melvin, because you bring up a valuable point. But they'll take the black issues that affect black communities and they'll put it underneath some mashed potatoes, and then they'll force feed it to people. Like, okay, so we'll take the black issues, but we got to put it with minorities. And minorities is a blanket term, just like I said, black is a blanket term. You take minorities, which you have Mexicans, you have Indians, you have all these other minorities that can get blanketed termed into this whole group of minorities, but none specifically for blacks. So it has to be force fed as far as with blacks. But then they do things as far as take down black unemployment. They give black HBCUs monies and all this other stuff, but it's blanketed. So I understand where Quez is coming from. You guys both have valid points.
Here's my point. When you say, oh, they only vote in election year, what did we just get done saying? Black people only vote in election year. So if they don't vote every 2 years for House of Representative in their local election, why the hell would they do anything early? They don't have to. But just as Joe Biden put the first black female Supreme Court justice, he doesn't give a shit about black people. He did that at the beginning of his term. And y'all still say he did shit for black people. Why? If he did it for at the end of his term, you'd be like, he didn't do nothing for black people. No matter what, you got everybody, especially the black community, keeps saying he didn't do nothing for black people. Well, maybe if we came out and vote in force, which we do not, and we only go on presidential days, which we talked about, presidential elections, which we talked about ad nauseum now, then they wouldn't do things at the end of their term. Why would I have to do anything when you're going to forget it if all I have to do it is in year 4 when it's right there in your face? That's one. And two, when to yours and Quez's point, of course there's not going to be a specific bill just for black people, because nobody was elected by only black people. So until black people goes out and vote and say, well, I'm going to do this for the black community and solely for the black community, we're not going to get that one. All the black people, they got voted by everybody, all different races and everything else.
Was anybody voted in specifically by Asian people or specifically by the LGBTQ community?
It's not about, it's about the numbers, Quez. It's about the numbers.
Now it's about, you see how
it's always been about, I said that at the beginning. The Asian community will get the Democratic support.
For black people,
it has to be bipartisan.
Oh my God.
Democrats can't do everything by themselves. The Republicans helped pass that Asian bill. So without
just like they helped pass the voting rights bill, right? So we can't say that all Republicans
they passed the voting rights bill when they had a majority.
Lyndon B. Johnson was what? Staunch racist. Right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Republicans passed the vote.
It's about the numbers.
It's
about the numbers.
He had to be forced to sign it, right?
It doesn't. All it comes down to is the numbers. Obama had so many different other plans.
So, Quez, I'm
gonna give Abraham Lincoln saying,
right,
if we could win this war without freeing the black people, I would do it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. If you're
Quez, you're 100% correct.
That doesn't make you any better of an individual. That's all.
No, that's true. But when it comes to politics,
Melvin. So the thing about it was, again, we had John F. Kennedy was the force behind the Civil Rights Act, but he was assassinated. Yeah. So Lyndon B. Johnson was forced essentially to kind of sign it, because again, it's just like the one thing I'm a re-election, right?
He did not seek re-election. He did not take his party.
Right. So again, so just like to Quez's point though, so to play advocate, so to speak, they don't only just do that to us, they do that to the gays, they do that to Mexicans, they do that to Asians, do those certain things to placate, to make sure that they get these votes come November. But for us, it seems like they disappear, but they only come back when it's election time. They come back. We'll get a Juneteenth
because
we'll get a Juneteenth
because we don't vote. Like I said, if we just got done saying
black women voted in 2020 in record numbers. So it's not because we don't vote. It's
we didn't get enough votes.
Black people voted in record numbers for Obama in his first term.
We didn't get enough votes.
As soon as he didn't do shit, nobody voted the second term.
That's not even true. That's not even true. That is not even true.
That is true.
It's not fair because you know specifically what their whole plan was. Again, you had the Republicans who said, we're going to sabotage this man's presidency. We're going to make sure that we don't pass any type of things. So it's just like what you said, what Melvin said, black people only show up when it comes for the presidential race, but they're not voting for the Senate or for the House of Representatives. So when these bills don't get passed.
Obama's first term, he had control democratically of the House and the Senate. He did whatever the fuck he wanted to do. They had majority vote.
But
Obama was the first black president, but he wasn't only elected by black people. So, and he can't pass law without Congress.
That's all.
What matters is the numbers. So if we
showed
can't
up
pass
the record numbers, and
Quez, is Godspeed? Are you Godspeed? Quez, are you Godspeed?
Oh no, I don't know who that is.
Y'all are saying the same shit. Y'all are saying the same shit. I'm starting to think there's a conspiracy.
What matters is what you have. Yeah, they voted
record
numbers, but
moving on. We're gonna have to have this discussion off off the goddamn podcast.
No, you know, we're gonna bring it
Let's
back
do
with
it.
the people who
Let's
are over
do
here,
it.
like,
This
you know.
wasn't even the topic, so that's funny
I'm
to
okay
me.
with
The
that.
topic was
Let's do
she
it.
black? We were not
But-
supposed
Right.
to get into policies
My-
and
my
any of
thing
this
is,
other
let's
stuff, but I
bring-
think that's where we're going.
So
Now
My
that
thing
it's
is, let's
over,
bring
let's move
facts
on.
to the art.
So to close this out, I don't give a fuck what this Negro says, what this whenever Kamala Harris is black. Shut what we call. I'm not saying you, Justin. Kamala Harris is black. Whatever.
I agree with
All
you.
right,
And
so
again,
moving on.
why does it matter?
It don't.
That part exactly.
I totally
T.
agree.
No.
And it
Why
doesn't.
did Trump bring
She's
that
the
up?
woman.
Why did
Let's
Trump
move
bring that
on.
up?
Because that's
So
what
she has
racists
double
have.
stigmas against her.
Let's
She's
move
black.
on.
He brought it up because
Asian,
that's-
and she's a woman.
Yes.
See,
Okay.
two
moving
things he
on.
can't stand: black and women. Let's move on.
Yep.
Damn.
Damn.